I'm happy. I mean, obviously starting in the back, especially at this track, it's not easy, but it was a good day for us.
At the 500, you ran out of fuel actually late in the race, didn't you?
Yeah, and then put us a lap down, so we went and we got a lap back and we restarted 23rd and we finished 9th. So hopefully we don't do that tomorrow. And I think we have a pretty good possibility to have our best finish of the year.
Your starts are always exciting, and this one is a place where 7 wide is certainly feasible. Do you expect fireworks here in the first couple of corners?
That's what I do. So hopefully, you know, we'll put ourselves where we belong from qualifying, where I think we should have started it in the top 10, and we'll go from there.
Questions for John? Wolfgang's are down in front.
Of course.
Of
course you have
to. Tony, now with we have no qualifying here in practice. Did you work already on race setup for tomorrow?
Yeah, we never even run anything for qualifying because it was worthless. So all day long we did work on, you know, race setup. To start the session, we just felt like we needed to check the balance, but then after that we ran heavy fuel and just really did some race work.
And question number 2, shortly after practice you said you were struggling so far with the team. Do you see already a light at the end of the dark tunnel?
We've been taking one day at a time. You know, there is no mystery that how much we're struggling, and that is being taken a toll in every member of the team. It's hard to keep people motivated and also believing that, you know, it's not us. It's really easy to point fingers at each other, and we are pretty good at not doing that. So yes, I mean, I'm not the type of person that I give up very easy. I feel like there is no, you know, we can't hide that we're struggling, but it wasn't the first time that I've been in this position, and it won't be the last time. We have a lot to go. I have nothing to prove. All I can do is put my head down and work with my team to make them better. That's all we can do.
Question in the back.
Yeah, TK, I was wondering, what are you looking for based on your long run speed? What were you looking for from the car? Because it's such a, you have to make such a big compensation amongst all 3 corners. What were you looking for over 5 laps, 10 laps, 20 laps through the whole
So
field?
obviously we work in traffic, right? We're starting 19th. We need to be good behind other cars. So basically all I was doing today was see how close I could follow a car in front of me and where I could pass them, because that's what I'm going to have to do tomorrow. So that's pretty much we worked on in traffic the entire time. The catch of that is eventually the race not always goes the way you plan, and to have a car to run pretty good in traffic, it's definitely not a really good car to run by yourself. And if you find yourself by yourself, you're going to be in trouble. So trying to find the right adjustments that you can say, okay, if I get on my own, this is what I need to do to be able to keep up. So that's all we've done all afternoon.
I guess we have 2 more here.
Tony, Firestone brought a different tire this year. Big difference between last year, or not that big of a difference?
Well, we have more downforce, right? IndyCar gave us a little bit more too, so that is a difference. The cars are more comfortable, and I think we'll be able to follow each other a little closer. But is it the tires? Is it the downforce? We haven't tested here. We haven't been here in a year, so I can't tell you, but definitely feels better. So I would say let's give it a 50-50 for each change.
Question down here in front.
Is that a fake microphone or something?
I don't know.
Because it's definitely not working.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
not working. It's just let's just pretend.
I have a loud mouth anyway. So. There's obviously been a lot of talk about whether or not IndyCar is coming back next season. As a veteran of the sport, you know, what are your thoughts on it? Would you like to see obviously Pocono, you know, stay on the schedule?
I love this track. I mean, I think every driver that comes here, you look at each other, you go, oh my God, you gotta be careful here. You know, it's a track that intimidates a lot of us, and especially me that been around for too long, I don't think I get intimidated very often anymore. So I like it. I mean, look at how many fans we had here today. As far as, I mean, they are here. They keep asking for autographs, and a lot is, I think, the nature of the track. I know we've been trying extremely hard with the track and IndyCar to promote this race more. So, in my opinion, it should be back. I really
Question
like
back
it.
from Mary.
Tony, at this track, if everybody has, fresh tires, can you really pass going into all three turns, or are there certain areas that are better than others?
Now, somebody on a better tire, 100%. There's 3 places to pass. You can pass out of 1, you can pass going into 2, going into 3, and out and into 1. So that's something that, if you guys watch races in the past, it makes a big difference, the in and out laps, and a fresh tire and an old tire as far as tire strategies. So, that's something that is going to play out a lot tomorrow for sure.
All right. We will see you tomorrow.
I hope so.
We're joined now by Santino Ferrucci, who, a couple of things, a snap from Steve Woodage. You're fourth in points scored this season on oval tracks. It's been an exciting season for you already, and promising. And while you'll start 13th, you must think you have a fast car for tomorrow.
Yeah, it's always good. Ovals this year have been super new to me, and I've gotten along with them pretty well, and I've learned a lot since Indy, which is, I think, the biggest thing. And going into Iowa, I was able to be a little bit more confident. And then coming here, this track I actually didn't know beforehand. Both Indy, you get a lot of seat time. Texas, I was able to do my rookie eval in October, and Iowa, we used one of the rookie days. So 2 ovals I don't know would be this and St. Louis. But being able to come here and be quick kind of right off the bat was really nice and confidence inspiring.
You've seen this racetrack as a fan. What did it look like from a driver's seat?
It's a lot faster, that's for sure. I mean, you go around and you watch as a fan. I've been to both the IndyCar and NASCAR races here, and watching everyone come down the front stretch, I mean, it feels like you could go have a coffee break. But driving it, you now realize, you have so much appreciation for the fact that you're consistently working the tools, you're consistently trying to adapt to the car. All 3 turns are so drastically different that, you're consistently thinking about what you can do better each turn, lap by lap.
You must like turn 1. You made a couple of passes there of 4 or 5 cars.
Yeah, I got the high line to work, so I was told that that's not really an option. And I heard my spotter Pancho on the radio say, "There's no grip up there," and I was telling him, "I just want to try it. You never know." So, but he's definitely got a lot more experience than I do.
I might ask you about the auto rally that you organized, and they should be arriving if they're not here already.
Oh yeah, so we had this awesome rally put together. We ended up getting 22 cars, all from the Northeast. A lot of my friends. We got together, partnered with Dream Ride and Hometown Foundation Special Olympics, which is a huge event coming next weekend, and we're trying to raise a huge awareness for them and the Special Olympics athletes. And funny enough, the auto rally showed up about halfway through the session, so I'm kind of just sitting in the box hanging out with my helmet off, and look over and there's about almost 40 people in my pit box waving back at me, which I kind of thought was cool.
Very good. Question here.
Santino, you're rookie here this year, first time here in Pocono Raceway. Nevertheless, it's an interesting situation. You're quicker than your experienced teammate Sebastian. Is he asking for some advice now?
I think he's going to stop giving me advice at some point. But no, it's kind of strange. We both set off on the same car this morning, or this afternoon. And, I think we just have a slightly different aero balance. I like something that's a little bit on the edge, a little bit loose, and I think here, the way that you can adapt to the car, it's definitely a scary place to drive loose. But I quite like it, it's kind of nice.
Seems to be your mantra for the season. Tony Kanaan just mentioned this place being one of those places that can be intimidating. Did you have any of those kind of feelings today?
Yeah, I agree with Tony. I mean, there's some pretty nasty bumps into entry at turn 1 and turn 2, and when you're trying to catch people and get a run on them coming out of 3, the whole car just goes into a 4-wheel slide, and it gets it becomes a game of how far are you willing to go and how far are you willing to hang on to your car to get that next position and to get that pass. And I think tomorrow, if we do see some overtakes, there'll be some pretty solid moves.
Russia's down here in front on your left.
Is this working now?
Do you think that not having qualifying, maybe, and just with it being a straight 2-hour practice session, kind of helped you a little bit, where you didn't have to worry maybe the first practice session worrying about qualifying, and then the final practice session, just all you had to do was focus on your car for the race? Think that helped?
I mean, at the end of the day, you still got 2 hours, which is 2 hours of practice. I kind of wish we were able to qualify because I feel like our package for car was all around very strong, qualifying trim and race trim. But it is nice to kind of go in for 2 hours straight as a driver, but also as a team standpoint, it's more tricky because you don't really have time to take the car back to the garage and adjust if something goes drastically wrong. So I think we were kind of really lucky with that and having a good car right out of the box. And the team just working really hard and making sure we crossed our T's and dotted our I's with that.
All good.
Actually, I get
Okay. Follow up.
You mentioned too.
We have a microphone.
You mentioned too at one point when you try to go on the high line, your spotter, Pancho Carter, he raced here. How much has you talked to him, or he's given you some advice? Granted, it was 25 years ago or whatever, but how much maybe advice has he given you about this place?
Yeah, even though it's 25 years ago, I mean, we're still using baseline setups from 2007. So some of the old Indy cars I find kind of awesome. But no, I mean, some things don't change. The ovals stay consistent throughout the years from what I'm learning. And Pancho being in my ear, telling more or less, he's helping me with how to turn in. And he's pushing me on the radio to build my confidence as a driver and to push the limits and not be afraid of some of these corners and these speeds. So he's more important necessarily in my ear, telling me that I can do it and that it is capable, and that's a huge confidence boost.
Got a question in the back on the left.
Okay, Santino, you mentioned going up high briefly and Pancho telling you to kind of back off. There's the area there where the PJ1 and the Tire Dragons ran for the NASCAR race. Do you think there's a possibility with tire fall off, or maybe depending on the situation, that you guys may be able to utilize that line at some point during the race, or is that a no man's land?
It's definitely interesting. I think in turn 2 you can get a half a car length up. In turn 1, I managed to only pass one car around the outside, and it was kind of it was close. I didn't lift and take my foot out of it to stay up there, but you can get just 2 cars wide, no more. Anything 2.5, you're gonna wash up. And to race that close for 200 laps, I don't think anyone wants to do that because it's too tight. So I think what you're gonna end up seeing is on starts and restarts, you'll definitely see me up there trying it, but for majority of the race, we'll all be down low lane. So.
Can you explain what running a 500-mile race was like after not run that distance until Indianapolis this year? What that was like, and now having to do it tomorrow?
Yeah, it's weird because you come at it differently. When you're looking at any other race, take in necessarily any road course or street course, you look at your start as your biggest advantage. When you have a start, it's the most places you can gain because everyone's packed up the most. And when you go into an oval race, because it's so long in 5 pit stops, anything can go wrong, anything can go right. I mean, if you catch a lucky yellow, or if you have 5 really good pit stops, you can really propel yourself up into the front, undercutting or overcutting traffic. And one thing that I also learned from the 500 is that you're never out of it. You're even all the way into the end in the last 5 laps. You're always in the fight. So I think that's something to take into account going into tomorrow being a 500-mile race, that once you do get going, it is a very, very long ways from home, and you're never going to be out of that race.
Very good. Thank you much. Congratulations. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
The honor rally set up.